What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 381 of Opinions May Vary. I'm your host, JR. I'm co-host with me, Alex.
Hi.
No guest this week. We are doing it's a sad day. Well, let's first off, happy birthday, America. We're gonna kick it off with that. Alex, did you leave your milk and cookies out for Captain America last night?
No, I left an apple pie.
Okay.
out.
Yeah, that's a much better joke. That's a much better joke than the one that I saw all over Facebook yesterday. I did see another one that it was like, make sure to leave your Budweiser and something else out
For Kid Rock?
or for Kid Rock, or else he won't leave you fireworks in the morning. I like the Captain America one better.
I like the one that was just like salute to this, and it was just him laying down of his butt.
Right? Yeah, it's America's ass.
It is.
Yep. We are doing kind of a. I feel like we should be playing Sarah McLachlan right now. In the Arms of an Angel, something of that nature. Kind of a in memoriam. There's been some sad news this last week. And it's mild spoilers, I guess.
If you've been paying attention to anything on the internet and you like comics and you follow a couple comics things, you've heard it already. We're going to try not to spoil too much, but there will definitely be some spoilers.
Yeah, we're talking about Walking Dead. It's like an old. Apparently, it's 2012 again. And OMV is talking Walking Dead. So if you're not caught up, we're gonna try our best not to spoil the most recent stuff. But
like storyline wise.
Yes, it might be best to maybe catch up. If you're not a fan of spoilers, but we're gonna do our best. So we apologize in advance if something slips out. But we're gonna flash back to just a couple days ago, and I should have pulled this up beforehand.
What's that?
Because
I might have it.
I have some things pulled up. It's on the Twitter. So actually, luckily, it's the most recent thing. On July 1st, so just a couple days ago, which was what, Monday? Monday. Robert Kirkman tweets out, details about this issue will more than likely start to leak today. If you'd prefer not to be spoiled, I would recommend being very careful online until the issue is released on Wednesday. It's a big issue in more ways than one. And then hashtag understatement of the year. And it's for issue 193 of Walking Dead.
Who posted it?
Robert Kirkman on Twitter.
Right.
And then later that day, he quote tweets his own tweet saying, "You have been warned." Because apparently, I'm guessing he was starting to see a lot of stuff coming out. And I managed to avoid most of it until the actual day of the issue came out. And then scrolling Reddit, it's front page and front page. I almost said front line and sinker. I don't know what I was trying to say, but it spoiled a significant. It spoiled what Kirkman was talking about. It didn't actually spoil the storyline, but it spoiled like the reason why it's so significant. And it's came out that with the recent events,
the way the current comic book industry works, it used to be shops got their books mailed to them on Wednesday. So the books come in, they get unloaded, they go on the shelves. The customers have to wait until they go on the shelves, or if the shipment arrives late, then you're waiting for it to get put in your file or whatever. So like you could show up to your shop at 11 a.m., but they didn't get their shipment yet.
Right.
It's New Comic Day. Well, the UPS didn't get here. FedEx or whatever didn't get here.
And if there was a holiday earlier in the week,
it's delayed until Thursday.
Those are the worst days.
So you might have to like stall until 5 p.m. So what Diamond eventually did, which I don't recall how many years ago this was, they're like, well, how about this? We'll ship it all. You'll get it on Tuesday. You'll have time to stock it the night before Wednesday. And this way, when everyone comes in Wednesday morning or all day Wednesday, it's in their file. It's on the shelves. It's ready to go. You don't got to stress. No one's going to ditch you for a different store that gets their shipment early in the day. Everyone gets it on Tuesday. But now that means that spoilers become abundant,
commonplace.
It's a sickness.
Because most shop owners or people who work in shops are also fans.
Yeah,
they're reading these books, and they can read these books before you're supposed to be reading them. So when they get the latest issue of Walking Dead and they see that it's a thick boy,
this is gonna be a fire book. Let's tell everyone about it.
Yep. especially after the events of issue 192, which came out last month. Crazy stuff happens. What's going to happen next?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this big, thick boy, because it's like a triple issue.
Yeah.
It's huge. And you read through it, and then you're, oh, shit. Time to post about this on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It can be really, spoilers are everywhere. It's just part of the, I don't want to say it's part of the business, because that's shitty. But it's part of, like, the culture. Like, people love to spoil shit. I mean, we've spoiled shit. I like to think that we always do our best to warn. We're not the guy who actively seeks out all the popular threads on Twitter and posts spoilers in the comments, so people will have no choice. Unsuspecting people will.
I have to be the coolest person, so I'm going to talk about what happened on Game of Thrones 5 minutes after it happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait that long. As it's happening, I'm going to be live blogging it everywhere I can, so everyone has to see it.
Remember when we tried live, not live tweeting, but it was on Facebook. We tried live posting one of the episodes of Walking Dead.
It was like a watch party or something.
Yeah.
We did that
back in the day. We tried.
That was a solid 2 or 3 weeks.
We tried, and it was just you and me talking back and forth to each other. But, so, without spoiling the actual events of the book, they announced that Walking Dead is done. Mm-hmm. The comic itself, issue 193, is the last issue of Walking Dead, which is significant in so many ways. Like both on a personal level to me, and also to like comics in general. Because like I think in Kirkman's letter in the end, like something about like there's currently 4 different TV shows in production.
Yeah.
Just focused on The Walking Dead. But
well, I'd call it 3.5 to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I mean, there's been TV shows, there's been video games, there's the comic, obviously. There's books, like actual books that you can read without pictures. A whole line of books, and they're pretty popular, at least back when I used to sell them. It's a like...
And who knows how much other merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
Action figures, pop vinyls, statues.
Wallets.
Bats.
Bottle cap openers. Bats. Yep.
If you could think of it, it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there with the Walking Dead name on it. And somehow some people will buy them. And I don't. But let's flash back. Let's flash back to March 19th of 2012, when a certain podcast was born on a night when 3 men got together and had no idea what was happening when we were talking about like Walking Dead season 2 finales. And I don't even know what season it was, because then in episode 3 I said that we talked about the season 3 finale aftermath. God, I'm stupid. What did we talk about? Did we go an entire season between 2 episodes? Anyways.
I found... what episode was it? 28. That was in September.
Is that issue 100?
That was 2012. Because that's when Tony Moore and Robert Kirkman were having their lawsuits.
Right. Yep.
Because like now there's a TV show, and we didn't get the whole story, because there's a lot of stuff they just didn't let out. But the general idea was like, oh well, no, it's popular. Tony Moore wants more money, and like, but what ended up happening was like they both pretty much just settled it.
Yeah.
Like every party seemed to get away happy. And like there wasn't a lot of like garbage being slung at each other. It was like, well, the agreement we thought we had wasn't quite it. We're gonna renegotiate. We're gonna make sure everyone is cool what's happening, because that's when like the TV show was getting big.
Yeah.
So
it was a phenomenon. Broke all these records, most watched, blah blah blah, debut and finale. I was deep into it. I used to love that show. Like, it was really neat. To like, this is a comic that I've been, and I probably told the story on the show, but I remember my introduction to Walking Dead. It was by our good friend John, Mr. John, when I didn't know who he was, but like we were in dressing room at local theme park, in between things, and like this particular dressing room happened to be surrounded by superheroes, so there's a lot of comics everywhere, and like, I can't remember how it even came up, but John was like, oh, if you like zombies, you might like this. And he handed me the first volume of Walking Dead, which at the time there had been like 4 volumes. This is in 2006, so The Walking Dead was 2 years old at the time, because it came out in 2004.
Okay.
And like immediately I read it in like one sitting, and I was hooked like everyone else. And then I also worked at the bookstore at the time, so I had access to all the trades. So as they came in, I'd flip through them, and then starting in 2009, I started buying floppies. I actually got into like, was it 2009? 2008, 2008ish. I actually started like on a weekly basis going to the comic shop and buying comics. And at the time, my girlfriend was huge into Walking Dead too, so I'd buy her every issue, and we both read it. But it was cool. It was hers, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes. I'd buy them for her every week, every month, and I've been reading it ever since. So ever since the first week, I started like, I'm gonna buy comics now. I'm a comics guy. I do the comic thing. I have a pull file. If you could set this aside for me, sir, I will buy this on a monthly basis. And Walking Dead was like probably, if not the first comic that was on that pull file, it is one of the first. And now it's over. I have every issue from like 50 on or something like that. I have a random assortment from 7 through 50.
Yeah.
But like I have every issue from 50 on, which is pretty neat.
Those first 50, it's a chore to get.
Yeah, they're getting difficult.
What's this gonna do to the price?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it just gonna?
Because remember, like last month or two, I had just said like I bought a couple early issues.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to fill in that. I do not own every issue. I don't buy the trade, or I don't buy the floppies. I don't like calling them that. I call them issues.
The issues.
I'm not up on that game, that terminology. I get the trades. I'm a trade waiter. And even then I wait even longer because there's a few gaps in my trade collection, and so I'll just wait. So like, I think I'm missing like volume 23 and 24, and last I knew they're up to at least 30, or if not 31. So I had some filling in to do today to catch up on what Walking Dead's been doing and happening. But the shop that I was in when I was going through the back issues, one of the employees was like, "Hey, all these are half price because sales are getting low. Like people aren't buying it as much. It's not quite as in demand." And I was like, "Half price."
And this is before
This was a few months ago.
The issue that came out last month,
Mm-hmm.
which last issue 192, I was even lucky to get it myself. It was on eBay like the next day I saw the highest one that sold for like $75.
Really?
Yeah. But most of them were in like the $20 range.
Was that one of the ones where it's like, oh, it's already graded at a 9.8? It just came out yesterday.
It's literally impossible.
You didn't get it graded.
Literally impossible.
That's where like a store just sends in a whole batch of like, guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll probably get one back 9.8.
We'll just fast track it.
Statistically,
it'll be fast tracked.
But yeah, I saw one sell for $75, but most of them were selling for like $20, which is still, for a book that literally came out that day or the day after, or like the day before, to sell for $20 is pretty significant. I have books from like the mid 80s that are still worth $4. You know, so a book.
Well, they're not as important.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's easy to like, and it's really easy to fall into that kind of. Well, this book is older. It must be worth money.
Oh no, Firestorm doesn't know if they'll be able to rejoin and form Firestorm anymore. Versus like, well, anyway.
Another issue of Green Lantern punching a guy.
I'm not sure. We haven't like negotiated what steps we want to take or how we want to break this down today.
I'm just here to talk about Walking Dead.
If we're on shops, let's talk about shops. In the back of this issue, in the back of 193, like the issue happens, the art's all there, you get your story, and then Kirkman has a few pages where he talks about the process and what it was like, and about the ending,
how we came to the ending.
And so if people aren't familiar, or they haven't been watching or tracking or hearing about it, part of the thing about this issue was that a lot of people are mad because it was a surprise. If we haven't covered this enough just yet, this was a shocking surprise. No one knew it was the end when they ordered it. No one knew it was the end until like it got to stores.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh, we decided this last month.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I guess this is just the end. We're done. They did this with intent. They wanted to confuse, they wanted to fool people. They made fake covers for the next 2 or 3 issues, I think.
Yeah, with fake solicitations.
With fake solicitations in the previews book. So, like, no one would be like, wait, you know, shop owner or shop employee who's bored at work looking through the previews magazine. There's no Walking Dead.
Yeah, where's 194?
Where's Walking Dead? What's going on? Why isn't there a next issue?
It was there. There was a description like, oh, there's a new sheriff, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Here's what's going to happen. Here's an image of someone stabbed with a sword.
Who is that person?
Is that Michonne's sword or is
God.
that a blacksmith sword?
What's going on?
So that was intentionally a ploy, which means, like, whoever came up with it first, if it was Kirkman's idea, and, like, Charlie Adler had to get on board, then they had to convince everyone else at Image who publishes the book.
Which, I mean, it also helps when you're the COO of the company.
Is he?
In Robert Kirkman. I believe he's the COO.
So with that, like, there weren't extra issues ordered because I believe, like, everyone knew Superman was going to die, right? Like, that wasn't a surprise
For Death of Superman?
Yeah.
Way back in the day with Doomsday?
Yeah.
It's way before my time.
Because there was a lot of those printed up.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's worth money. It's in the black bag.
Well, at the time, it was worth a lot of money, and now you could buy them like $1 a piece.
Mm-hmm. I can't.
There's places that will have a long box just full of Death of Superman, just collecting dust.
Those were polybagged, right?
Yeah.
In the black bag.
Yeah. So was the return of.
Yep.
The main anyway. So one of the things, because, like, shop owners were like, well, I wish I could have made some more money off of this, and now I can't. And the response is, get a second printing, man. Just, you know, you'll get a new printing in a couple weeks. You sell those, and it's like, no one wants second printings.
Yeah.
But with this, as long as shop owners are honest, everyone who already has it in their file will get it.
Yeah.
People who have been buying it for the past 15 years will get it anyway. So it's like, I don't want to insult people and say, like, oh, well, only the true fans get it. You know, everyone else who's just speculators or hustlers or flippers, like, screw you. Well, I'm sorry, but...
And I get it. Like, and I don't want to be like a stupid enlightened centrist here, but on the one hand, and Kirkman did explain in the letter in the back that Walking Dead has always been about surprise. We like to surprise people. That's what and, like, remember back when issue 100, you knew someone was going to die. You just didn't know who exactly it was going to be. Yeah. But it was a significant thing. They released 30,000 covers. It was printed into oblivion.
28.
28 covers. Printed into oblivion. It's still worth a decent, a couple bucks because it's the first appearance of Negan, which, especially now that he's in the TV show, it's significant. But, issue 100, it was an event. That we're going to print out thousands of copies of this and all the different covers and all that stuff. This is the last issue of one of the most significant comics in the last 20 years. And it just got, like, a regular print run with, like, as far as I know, one cover. Maybe a variant, I'm not sure, but I just kept seeing the one cover everywhere. And what I can see where people would get upset about. The one thing that, and I brought this up to you, there's in the Reddit thread that initially spoiled the fact that Walking Dead was ending for me, one of the top comments from someone on Reddit, I'm going to read this verbatim. You have to mind my language here. As the owner of one of the hundreds of comic stores currently getting slammed with calls about this book and getting yelled at by assholes because we only ordered our regular amount since we had no fucking clue it was a special issue since he wanted it to be a surprise, go fuck yourself, Robert Kirkman. And there's a slew of people, 376 upvotes currently.
Do I feel bad about laughing at that?
See, and I get where they're coming from because it's a money-making opportunity. And we just talked about this a couple months ago. Comic shops, they sometimes rely on that kind of funding. It's a significant thing. They can sell a lot of they can sell a lot of back stock. They can sell a lot of issues. I get it, but it's also like to say go fuck yourself. Right? It's like, okay, first of all, you're welcome for the last 15 years of content and all of the product that I've given you to sell. And it's also maybe calm down. Like, why is it a bad thing that your shop's getting attention and people are calling, hey, do you have my book? Do you have the new Walking Dead? Like,
I went to 2 shops. I went to my regular shop.
yep.
And I chatted with him for a bit.
And you were there pretty early. You were like 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I took my time on purpose. And we chatted for a bit. And he was like, well, if you're just coming off the street and want it right now, and I don't have it, maybe you should have been buying it.
Right.
It's like,
Do you only want it to make money off of it, or because it's significant?
Right.
Or do you want it because you genuinely enjoy the book and you want to read the story?
It's like, I'm super sorry, but I only ordered enough to fill my file, put a few on the shelf that I normally sell, and then maybe like 2 extras
Right.
to put in the back issues. Because that's what they have to calculate. That's what they're going to order. If they order too many, then they're out money that they're not going to make money off of now. So they're going to order what they would normally stock.
Yep.
And if they don't have enough, maybe people who are fans should have been buying them more. That was his response.
Yeah.
But I could see people like myself who would wait on trades. It's like, well, maybe I'd want this one issue.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one I'd want, because it's important to go and I'd put it with my trades. Because I guarantee like no one's going to care about volume 32 of the trades, because they'll just get reprinted. Compendium 4, like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
But I went to a different shop in town that I don't like going to, but I want to try and pick up the book, because I've seen other stores on Facebook or whatever would post and be like, well, today we're doing 1 per customer, 1 issue per customer. If we have any left over, you can get a second one tomorrow.
Right.
So I went to go check, and I don't just want to be that guy to walk in and buy the one thing that's hot right now. So I bought a couple other issues.
Yeah.
I bought some other books.
Yep.
That dude wouldn't have made money off me that day. But I don't want to be that person. I'm going to try and make it smooth. I'm going to try and be slick and be like, oh, I'm going to get the new Lois Lane book. Oh, and I found I could fill in some of my Exiles, volume 4, whatever it's on.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'll go to the counter and ask. Well, no, he doesn't have it. I'm slow buying the books I brought to the counter.
Right.
He made $14 he wouldn't have made off me that day because I was looking for that. I'm not mad about it. I understand the business.
Yep. And I feel like your typical Joe Rogan, but I can see both sides. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I think I'm leaning more on the side of like, just enjoy the comic. Enjoy the thing. It was a great run, legendary comic. You probably made thousands of dollars off of it since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Relax.
Oh, you're talking to the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just chill a little bit. little guy. I'm mad that my store is getting business.
One of the things I love about this series and about Invincible, which was Kirkman. What am I doing? Kirkman's other series, Invincible, which we knew was ending.
Yep.
And we had time to prepare for it and get ready, and I had a few different covers, was that we weren't flooded with spinoffs. Right?
Right.
Which, like, if someone knows they want this to run for X number of years, they're going to keep it in one storyline. They're going to keep it in the issues. We're not going to reboot. We're not going to restart. Who would want a volume 2 of well, oh, it's a new number 1. No, just run it, man. Just run it deep. Like, we got a couple Adam Eve spinoff issues. We got Guardians of the Globe, or Guarding the Globe. Which there's a couple things, but like, it wasn't ridiculous. Remember when Green Hornet came out?
Yep.
Oh, 1 issue was hot. Guess what? Now there's 4 other sub issues.
Yeah.
Now there's 5 different volumes of Green Hornet you can go buy.
And Kato.
Let's flood the goddamn market. Oh, Red Sonja is kind of hot right now. Guess what? Now there's 2 Red Sonja new comics every week of the month. And the market's flooded. No one's going to buy 5 Red Sonja books in a month.
Yeah, I don't want that.
And then it runs out because they're out of artists. They're out of storylines. What do we do now? I don't know. We'll just cancel it, I guess. We'll make a weird team up with Vampirella and the girls from Archie, Veronica and what's her name? Betty. But it's like we got the novel, we got a Negan book, we got a Governor book, right?
There was like the one shots, like the backstories or whatever they were. There was the Michonne one,
Mm-hmm.
Governor one. There was Here's Negan. And then they did like Walking Dead Weekly. Remember that?
Yeah, but that was so people could actually like obtain floppies of the early issues.
That's how I have issue 1. is from Walking Dead Weekly, which is in itself it's worth like $10.
And those are put out weekly. Yeah, that's right. Hence the name. But it was kept to one series, and that's how it was extended for so long.
Yep.
You didn't have to get stuck like taking up too much shelf space with 5 different volumes of the same book.
Yeah, but like, and I was as big as Walking Dead fan as they come, and even I would be like, if there was 5 different Walking Dead books on the shelf, man, I don't know if that's for me.
Well, this book follows the kingdom, and this book follows the hilltop, and that's how we're gonna get them different.
I didn't need that. I didn't need that at all. But yeah, it's I had a sad moment, and I messaged you about it too yesterday. You know, because Walking Dead, we have also talked about this in the past. Walking Dead is one of my go-to poop books. You know,
Yeah.
It's one of the first ones that I read. If Walking Dead is out and I get it in my stack of comics, you know, typically on average I probably buy between 4 and 6 comics a week. If one of those is Walking Dead, that's gonna be one of the first 2 that I read, without a doubt. It's an easy read usually, and it's a story that intrigues me. There was only a couple times when I was ever really bored with Walking Dead, and then Negan showed up and it completely like changed the game for me.
And it's not something you could speed through because there's a lot of words to read.
Yep.
But those contain storyline.
And it's one of those. I had like a moment of like I'm sitting down to read a new issue of The Walking Dead for the last time. And this is something that I've been doing since I started buying individual issues, floppies. Like since the first week, it's like, oh hey, The Walking Dead. I see those books at the store all the time. I should start buying the issues and be on the up and up. And I am not going to get to do that anymore, and it's kind of a bummer because back when I was on Chew, loved Chew, one of my favorite books ever. I knew it was going to end, which is a bummer, but it's going to end eventually. Saga's going to end, but Walking Dead, Kirkman always say, I got enough stuff to last to issue 300, and he even addresses that in the letter too, about how he always said that he had enough stuff to get to 300, but it turns out he went a lot faster than he expected, and
I don't want to promote him, but Bleeding Cool did some research, and they looked up a few things. In Walking Dead number 104, he wrote, he has a solid plot through issue 200, and general ideas that could continue after that. And there's Reddit Q&A. Sorry, my page moved because a new ad popped up. On a Reddit Q&A, he replied to a question. He plans on doing at least 300 issues. I'm having this much fun, I won't stop here. If I suddenly start having a lot less fun, I may end it earlier, but I don't see that happening. But then as recent as number 181, he wrote I guess it was in the comments, or the letters page, no one dies in issue 200, there I said it.
He didn't lie.
So, by the way, I looked it up. There's only one cover to 183 right now.
One cover.
Just one.
Right.
Which they haven't released a second printing yet.
Do you think they would not release a second printing? See, that I could see getting upset about.
Oh, no, they've already said, there's...
Okay. Because then, I'm going to lean on the comic shop owner. If you don't release a second... Come on. That would just be...
No, they've already said, there's a plan for the second print.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it'll be a surprise. It comes out in 3 years.
And on July 2nd, I'm still going to just get rid of Bleeding Cool while I can. Rich Johnson,
that's the thing. Bleeding Cool, they put out... We in the past, we used to love... But, man, the ads, Bleeding Cool. Let's calm down with the end. Everyone's got to make their money, but I feel like there's a better way to present those ads on that site, man. It's a cancer site. Cancer site.
He even stuck by, because on July 2nd, we all knew what the reveal was going to be. Not we all, but the stores found out about it. That was leaked. So the news sites are going to hear about it, which means he knew that day, and he still kept up like the ploy of like, oh, so here's a solicit for 194. Here's what's gonna happen,
Right.
knowing full well that it wasn't. And he even put up a picture of the issue as it was solicited.
Rich Johnson, who has been called out for spoiling shit in the past.
Oh yeah,
By Dan Slott, most famously.
Mhm.
Like, we used to torch him for spoilers.
Mhm.
When
Peter Parker dies.
yeah, yep.
Spoilers, that was years ago. But that got me Superior Spider-Man for 2
Yeah.
years.
It's true.
So
It's true.
I was okay with that.
Would you say Superior Spider-Man's like your favorite story, like storyline or whatever, the past like decade?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to. That would take a lot
A lot of thinkings.
internal review.
Did you see the tweet from CNN?
Let's do that, because that's not the first time this has happened to actual news. Because sometime in the last month, there was like a news article that came up, and it was something like, was it Christian groups? Some groups were like protesting Amazon Prime to not air Stranger Things,
Oh yeah, that was last month.
and it
Or
was like
even
oh,
like a couple weeks ago.
there's this many people signed the petition to not show Stranger Things on Amazon Prime, and it's like, it's not on Amazon Prime. It's on Netflix.
Yep.
It's not. You got the wrong. It's the like. Is it the protesters that are incorrect, or was it the news that didn't get it right?
Right.
But yeah, CNN said it was a Marvel comic book.
Just as Marvel Comics closed the books on The Walking Dead, the company revealed it's bringing back another undead series, Marvel Zombies. And to CNN's credit, they corrected it.
Did
they? Just as Image Comics closed the books on Walking Dead, comics giant Marvel revealed it's bringing back another undead series. Corrects publisher. They could have deleted the original tweet.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just deleted it. People would still call them out on it because you can still see a tweet if you don't refresh Twitter.
Uh-huh.
It still shows up, but once you refresh, it's gone. They could have deleted it. They could have just posted the new thing, but they just quote tweet or like essentially replied to their own tweet
Mm-hmm.
with the new corrected, a headline, and went on with it. But it is still funny to be a. I wouldn't say I'm being a gatekeeper, but it's just like, do you even read comics? But
Who wrote that article? Was it an intern? Or not article, but like that tweet, I guess.
Right.
Do you not have to fact check your tweets anymore?
It's like, and Twitter's it's so full of, how do you do, fellow kids? Because all these companies who are on Twitter are trying to like, be trill and like,
they're trying to post eat memes.
yep.
Wow, that caught you pretty good.
It did. Yeet will never not make me laugh.
Even if we know what eating is, it just doesn't fit.
There's a guy who puts Mortal Kombat compilation videos together, like where he just like trolls people online,
Uh-huh.
and like he does it with like he'll edit the video with funny sound effects, and he always puts in the yeet guy, and it kills me. But yeet memes, that's a good one. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my knuckles. Yeah, yeet meme. Yep, that's going on my knuckles.
You're welcome.
But it gave me a little bit of a chuckle, but it's also like, why do we need Marvel Zombies again? Do we really need Marvel Zombies originally written by Robert Kirkman, I believe. The first volume,
I don't recall.
if I recall, Marvel Zombies Volume 1. Google. I believe it was Robert Kirkman. Or was it Mark Millar? Shit. It was Mark. Fuck. Such an idiot.
He might have done volume 2 or 3 or 4.
According to Amazon, it was Mark Millar, Robert Kirkman, Reginald Hudlin, Greg Land, Sean Phillips, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew Robert Kirkman was involved with it early on. But maybe the first issue.
He might have done like the next couple miniseries. Because it's called the Marvel Zombies 2, Marvel Zombies 3. They got 6-issue spots.
It said, according to marvel.fandom.com, the writer for Marvel Zombies Part 105 is Robert Kirkman, and Sean Phillips penciled it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where Mark Millar comes in on all this. Maybe it was like his idea or something.
If he was writing Fantastic Four, Ultimate Fantastic Four, because that's where
that's where it originated.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we solved the mystery. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and I remember at the time Marvel, holy shit, it's Marvel, but they're zombies, and the Marvel zombies, spoilers here. The book starts off with Magneto getting annihilated.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, it goes right for the jugular.
And they all talk.
But they're zombies. What is happening? And I remember it was really neat at the time. But then, like, as like it just drones, and I think John Layman wrote a volume. I think he did Army of Dead versus Marvel Zombies.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, why do we need Marvel Zombies again?
Darkness. Army of Darkness.
What did I say?
Dead.
Army. What a fucking idiot.
That's not too far off, to be honest.
I'm just spouting off nonsense.
You combined Evil Dead with Army of Darkness.
Yeah. The Evil Darkness.
Evil.
So yeah, we're getting Marvel. So we're losing Walking Dead. We're getting Marvel Zombies back. Apparently, it is the year 2003.
Well, the fanboys are saying it's because Marvel wants to copy DC because they're doing Deceased.
Right.
And there's zombies attacking in that.
Marvel Zombies Volume 1 was 2006. Damn.
July 31st will be the second print of 193. So if you can wait, if you can wait the what's that going to be? 24 days?
That's a lot of days. Like that's usually you hear like before the first issue's even out, like, oh hey, fucking Major X issue 1's already sold out, second printing approved. Before the issues even hit stands. So and like they had to know this was gonna sell out.
Like they didn't already set it up?
Well, like what they're not prepped to run a second printing.
They should just print like the fake covers as the variant.
I mean, they already have the covers made, you know?
Or would they just do like the same cover but like a different color title? Because that's what they usually do.
Right.
They alter like the color of like the logo or something.
That's what got me when I first started collecting comics.
It's the same issue?
Yeah. Because
well, I got with that. You would point that out. It's like, look, I got the first print of issue number 3, and you're like, that's not the first print.
But I was just, it was when Flash Rebirth was coming out, one of the first series I ever bought. And I remember the first one came out with the image that's tattooed on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a month later, issue 1 was out again, but the cover was black and white. And I remember turning to Justin, I was like, what is this? He's like, oh, it's just a second printing. And I was like, but it's the number 1 again?
It's a new series?
And I ended up buying it because I'm an idiot and I just didn't know what I was doing. And I just figured it has the number 1 on it. It must be worth money.
Well, now you have all the covers.
Now, yeah, apparently. I have at least 2 of them. But, yeah, so that's kind of a questionable decision to wait that long on that second printing. But, hey, I'm not in the business. I don't know. I just hope that everyone gets to have their copy.
There's a lot of clicking because I'm just going between all my open tabs.
All your references?
Yep. AMC already stated that Walking Dead will live on for many years to come.
Well, yeah, they gotta drain that one. That horse isn't dead enough yet.
I think I liked last season. You've
always been a consistent viewer.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch it as it airs because I wait until it gets Netflix because I don't have TV. I'm not one of those people who takes pride in it. I just don't have the time to watch TV on purpose.
Right.
So I wait until it's available to me and then I watch it. So it's whatever season is on Netflix is what I've watched. So I'm one behind right now. But like there was stuff where it's like I still have questions. Like, hey man, tell me why is there a helicopter there? Did she miss the helicopter? What's going to happen now? Please tell me. So they've got their main Walking Dead show. They've got Fear the Walking Dead, which I haven't watched any of yet.
I didn't even know there was anything other than Fear the Walking Dead.
There's the Talking Dead.
Oh, that's counted as a Walking Dead show.
I believe he was counting that one.
Right.
So I know of 3.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm forgetting one or if it was released that they're working on another one like the other 2.
How long before there's a cartoon?
Imagine what they could do with the animated effects.
Yeah. You could make that real violent.
It's a lot of red color.
Real violent. Would the cartoon be in black and white? right? You're welcome for
They-
these ideas, Image.
They did re-release season 1 in a black and white,
I remember that.
and I like that a lot.
It was like a special feature on the DVDs.
Really?
I think so.
Because they aired it at one point.
Oh no, the DVDs had one episode, I think,
Mhm.
in black and white, if I recall, and then they played to like hype up one of the seasons or something like that.
Yeah,
They played
yeah.
the entirety of
Wh-
one of the seasons.
Which was funny to me when they would like be pointing out where the zombies are. It's like, oh, down there by the blue car.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know which one's
The blue Hyundai, because every car in that show was a Hyundai.
I do have, one of my biggest complaints is when they started getting too CG heavy.
Right.
Because at some point, like, yes, it's hard to do all the stuff they're trying to do. And it's easier to film what they can and then move on and let someone else fix it with the computer. But you can tell when they're not actually stabbing a zombie in the head.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you shunk something, you shunk it in there.
Yep.
That's the sound it makes. Like, your hand isn't going to move because it's stuck in a thing now. And so no actor has been able to, like, make a stab motion, stop their hand, and pull it back out without giving it some kind of shake.
Little wiggle.
Some little bit of wiggle, some swivel. To tell you, like, there's no zombie head there right now.
Yeah.
They're not actually stabbing something.
Yep.
They just kind of slid that in. And also, you can't just push a knife into a skull. Bones are really hard. They're super hard.
They're zombie bones.
They don't get soft. They're bones. You can't just like easily, gently push your knife into a skull.
You know what
It's
also?
not how it works.
You know what also can't happen? The human body can't get up after it dies. It's not how it works. But I get what you're saying. It's everyone go read the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't use a serrated edge. Don't get the blade. The knife with the serrated edge on the backside.
Yeah.
It's gonna get stuck.
Might get stuck.
It's gonna get stuck.
Right.
I always tell people about the main thing that it took away from Zombie Survival Guide, because we talked about this. Because haven't you talked to him about the book?
Briefly, yeah.
And like you got to be prepared.
Well, like when other people when he writes the book, and he's getting like interviews, and people go, "Okay, but do you really believe this?" And his answer is just to stick to it and be like, "You got to be prepared."
Yeah.
Like, but seriously, zombies, and he's like, "You want to not be prepared?"
Right, yeah, right. Like,
and so when I met him at New York Comic Con a bunch of years ago, he signed my book. We had time to chat a bit. I go, "Okay, so my preferred weapon is a mountain climbing pickaxe. It's not like a heavy duty like iron and wood pickaxe, so it's much lighter. It's for climbing. It's balanced well, but I have concerns about it getting stuck in the head." And so he, without blinking, without pausing, he taps his head and goes, "Just aim for the temple. The bone's weakest there. It'll shatter. It'll shatter without like having give concern for it getting stuck."
thanks,
And,
Max Brooks.
And so like I reposted that. I told Facebook a little while ago, and my final quote on that was, "Sometimes you can meet your heroes."
It's amazing. One thing that stuck with me from that book was sorry, I was Googling to make sure I had the correct name, Max Brooks. Anyways, but one thing, because like I sold that book for a long time, especially like when it was a very frequent, holiday gift. Zombie Survival Guide is on every holiday table at the time. It did kind of die down in recent years a little bit, because it's an older book, but it's always been in the humor section. Always. It's always been in the humor section.
Okay.
World War Z is in fiction. Zombie Survival Guide is in humor, at least at Barnes & Noble stores.
Not in survival.
It's not in like the survival section in sports or the mountaineering section or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was always in humor, but like the book doesn't take a humorous tone at all.
No.
And the main thing and I tell this to people because it doesn't necessarily pertain just to a zombie apocalypse. It could be any apocalypse. In theory, is to fill your bathtub. Like if shit's going down, if stuff's happening, fill that bathtub.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when water might become undrinkable, when your water's gonna stop coming to your house, like when you won't have access to water, and when you're real thirsty, some some bad things can happen.
Some tub water's gonna do it.
Yes, I'll take a little tub water if it means like people will like end their lives over thirst. Like I'm so thirsty, I need to die
or kill over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That tub of water could be worth money. You could sell that tub of water. Get that tub of water graded. That's like the main thing. Like I always think, and it's because I would never think about that if not for. And also, didn't he have one like destroy the stairs?
Yes.
Wasn't that one of his
As
pointers?
you go up them, you destroy them behind you.
Yep.
Yeah, because then no one could follow you up.
Yep.
It's like you might get trapped up there, but there's a chance the horde could move on before you just die of exposure or hunger or thirst.
Swords don't need to be reloaded. I think is one that he.
Yep.
I mean, they need to be sharpened in theory, but like.
I believe in that book there's a brief section on how a fencer kept a swarm at bay,
right?
Because he could stab through the eye and make a big swishing motion, which would just scramble the brains inside.
And he's real accurate.
Yeah,
real accurate. It's all the shit that you don't think of, but like Zombies Survival Guide. That's a real fun book, if not for giving you valuable information.
World War Z was a good book too.
Read the first chapter. Saw the movie, which I hear is nothing like the book.
It's not. The World War Z book is a lot of chapters of people going through things.
Yep.
So you're getting like 8 or so different perspectives of what's going on. So you get like each different person's beginning, middle, and end, but like throughout 20 different chapters. But you're getting their different stories. So it's not like one continuous, thing that's happening. It's almost as if everyone is like writing in a diary or something. We're giving their report, which is how it's different from the movie. But yeah, one guy was a gardener and would use a monk spade as his weapon.
Monk spade. Googling.
That's a particular, like Brett knew exactly what it was.
Yep. Now I know what it is. Yeah.
And I believe he was blind too, but he could hear them coming because they would moan.
Right. Yep.
And he was blind because he was so old. He watched one of the nuclear bombs dropped on Japan.
Oof.
Yeah. There's also things of like what not to use against them. It's like they tried to lure the zombies out of New York City over one of the bridges. And like we're dropping bombs on them, but like they're just gonna keep walking through the fire.
Right.
And one of the stories of like if you ever see a zombie with his lungs outside of his mouth, he was at the Battle of Yonkers, they called it, because the concussion from the shockwave from the bomb would like they all have their mouths open so they could moan, but like the shockwave from this bomb would like suck their lungs out through their mouth. He came up with this.
It's brilliant.
That was good stuff. And then they'll had ways of like how to deal with the dead in different ways. It was a fun book. I liked it.
Zombie books. I remember back when zombie books were the shit.
Mm-hmm.
In like mid 2000s, Walking Dead was taking off, skyrocketing. There's also a book called The Rising, which we just like stumbled upon at the bookstore, and like me and like 7 other people at the store that I worked at just kept passing around this one copy of it. And I don't think you can really find it very easily anymore, but like it was a new take on zombies. It's by author Brian Keene, and it's like the dead are coming back to life, but they're being inhabited by like this like evil race of people. Like it's really tough to explain, but like when you kill one of them, like, yeah, you killed that zombie's dead, but that spirit or whatever is just going to move to the next dead bot. Like, like there was one part in the book where like one of the main like zombie leaders, spoilers here for The Rising. I can't remember if it's Rising or City of the Dead because there's a sequel called City of the Dead. And like he wakes up and he's in like a shit body. He's like, oh, this sucks. So he like blows his head off, and then he wakes up and he's in like a bodybuilder's body. And he's like, hell yeah. And he just like goes on with his business. But it was a cool take on zombies. The story was bleak. Man, it was bleak, but it was a really good read, and we were all obsessed with it for a little while. And it was like optioned to a movie, and we're really excited, but I don't think anything ever came of it. But it was a neat take on on a zombie storyline. But yeah, Walking Dead is done, and Kirkman even explained in his letter that he had some second thoughts.
Mm-hmm. He almost ended it earlier.
Oh, yep. Oh, his original ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like he mocks that as being terrible, and I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm uncreative, and I am a sucker for just the expected not an expected ending, but like I thought that ending would have been dope, like bleak.
He described it as it was obviously like an ending that he came up with at that age in his life,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel a lot of creative people go through segments of life.
Yep.
Where it's like, it'll be edgy or trendy for me to do it this way versus, well, I'm a bit older now and a bit more seasoned and maybe I'll do it differently.
Yep.
And like, would you ever regret the choices you made at that time? Which, like, to do it one way might please you at the time. While it's completely different tangent. While filming 30 Rock, Tina Fey was like, maybe we want to have another kid. Like her and her husband. She's like, but I can't right now because we're making a TV show.
Right.
And I'm responsible for 60 people's jobs.
Right.
So if I were to take time off, these people don't have jobs right now. So if Kirkman had ended it like just because he thought it would be a good edgy, depressing end, it's like, what would you have done to people that work for you or the possibilities of the company going forward? And like, would that have caused as many good things as they were bad? Versus like, well, we'll keep going and we'll end it on a different note. Hey, if you don't like it, just write a fanfic now.
Yeah.
Make your own, whatever.
Make your own. Come up with your own book. Let's see it. We're gonna need a zombie book now.
I was gonna say we got Marvel.
Oh yeah, we have Marvel's. We literally just talked about it.
Let's see. IO9 says, turns out the Walking Dead comics' most shocking death is its own.
Yeah. Yep.
They didn't have much to
the
say.
Friendships we made all along.
They didn't have much to say besides that. I'm done with Bleeding Coal. CBR had a bunch of different articles. Some were just recaps. One kind of goes through to define how the entire book has pretty much been just Rick's story. Because that's the main character we've been following through the whole thing. And they also shared a tweet from Tony Moore, who said he's honored to have been there in the beginning. It's nothing short of astonishing to see what Kirkman and Adler continued to build all these years. Nobody could have foreseen the juggernaut that Walking Dead would become, and it was a hell of a ride. So that was nice to hear from. And then our good friend Bob Bretal from Comic Spectrum, he said that was his favorite comic book.
Yep.
His favorite series. Out of all the comics that man owns, this series was his favorite.
Was it his favorite, like, current running series? I don't think he specified.
He said favorite comic series today.
My favorite comic series today, yeah.
So maybe 18 years ago was a different series.
But still, that's pretty significant for a man as well read and up on as Bob Bretal,
who by now owns at least 100,000 individual comics.
Yep.
And then a few cool things to say, how shops are taking care of their regular readers. Can you imagine what shop just doesn't charge cover price on day of release?
Is that even legal?
I don't think they can be stopped.
That would be fucked, to put it.
I want to look into that.
Yeah.
Because then you would just keep them all behind the counter and be like, oh, these are $10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what they do with the variants.
Right.
Do you have to sell your...
The variant has a price on the cover of
your
like $3.99.
Your 1 per 100 variant. And like they'll be like, oh, this is $8 today.
True. Very true.
Why isn't it $3 like the rest of them? Well, it's rare. What?
Would that make you stop shopping at a shop? If you went into like a local comic shop that you'd been frequenting for years, and you went to buy the latest hot issue.
If it's been years, I might be like, well, all right. I might understand it. I just wouldn't buy it from them. But I don't think it would make me refuse to ever go back.
Right.
If it was a shop like I just kind of walk into, and they want to hit me with like a a triple price or something, then he'll be like, I don't have to come back here ever again.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for letting me know I don't need to shop here.
But it's like your local shops, usually you end up getting deals, you get discounts.
Yeah.
You sometimes
Christmas presents.
we get Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Tickets to events. So like, if you've gotten enough out of your shop, then I could let it go. But if I haven't, if it's just been business the entire time,
Right.
then maybe I'll see what else is around.
Yeah. I do want to give it up to the team, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
they're never going to hear this. But, you know, Robert Kirkman supplied me with when did I start buying? 11 years of consistent content in a book that I genuinely enjoyed like 95% of the time, which is pretty significant. Considering I hate read Green Lantern, you know, currently. And Green Lantern's like one of my favorite things in the world. But it's also Grant Morrison, and Grant Morrison just doesn't click with me, man. It just doesn't click in my brain. I bought it yesterday. I bought the latest issue. But, you know, also, you know, Charlie Adler, the most consistent son of a bitch in the world. I like to think that he can finally relax. Charlie Adler can rest now.
Yeah, you can sleep. To want to be a comic artist, and for some people they want to tell stories, or they just want to draw, they want to illustrate. But usually, like when kids want to draw, it's because they want to draw superheroes. They want to draw Wolverine snicting. They want to draw Batman
brooding,
just standing on a gargoyle, and then to a point to be like, okay, you're just gonna draw people and dead people, and there's gonna be a lot of all of them. You're probably gonna draw the same dead people thousands of times, and it's gonna run for so long. There's gonna be so many deaths. You're gonna have to make a lot of different people, and then make them all look different,
make them unique.
Which, here's another grizzled, long-haired guy with a beard. Make him different from the past 5 grizzled, long-haired guys with beards
that showed up 3 issues ago.
So, like, just the fact, you know, and I haven't gone back to look. I should go check to look at like a character from issue 10, and then look at the same character now and be like, how has he aged this person?
Right.
What has this person gone through? Watch Eugene lose weight.
Right.
Things like that. Or like wounds or scars are still appear on people. Remember Andrea without her scar?
Yeah.
I don't remember what that looks like.
Remember Andrea?
What happened to her?
You're
I'm a little behind.
You're caught up to that.
No, I've told you I'm missing like 4 trades.
I feel like we talked about this.
We didn't.
I feel like this is the second week in a row that I've spoiled something really significant.
Like, well, it's not super spoiled. I know something happened, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But again, that would have to be like, it's within the past 3 years. Anyway.
Now I'm just trying to think. Anyways, but
yeah, Adler, I just like, and also to really think about it, this was a black and white book.
Yep. Every
interior page had no color in it. It was white, black, grays. Which is just, to do that is a lot of work. And does that make it more desolate? Does that tell a story better? Like, that was a major decision to make and then keep to.
Even when it became like the most popular book in the world.
Is that cheaper to print?
Most likely. It has to be. It has to be. You don't have to pay a colorist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was Charlie. Cliff Rathburn did a lot of inks and gray tones. And was Russ on the book? Russ Wooton? It's in the thank you note, which we didn't think to bring the thing in here. But hats off to that creative team for killing it, straight killing it for 15 plus years.
I missed a lot of the Whisperers.
Yep.
But the trades that I do have with them in it, I like looking at the hordes and see if I could spot where they're hiding.
Yeah.
See if I could pick them out.
I think the show's up to that point. I think the Whisperers have shown up in the show.
Which, if I didn't know they were a thing, and like when they get revealed, that had to be freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, zombies talking now and fighting back with knives. Congrats to Image for taking a chance.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
the people who were in charge at the time to be like, hey, we want to do a black and white zombie book, but we're never going to call them zombies, by the way.
They're walkers.
They're biters.
Walkers or biters.
Roamers.
Or roamers. Yep. Hordes. But it's never zombies.
Would you run a company. You run Image Comic Books.
Cool.
You've made Savage Dragon for years.
Spawn.
You've got Spawn. Some things happened with Extreme Studios. We'll not talk about that. And like a lot of really cool stuff has come through. And then someone goes, "Hey man, like, can I make zombies? We're just gonna do them in grays though. Is that cool? Are you saying yes to that?"
And this is... Walking Dead started after Invincible, right? So we had some clout. A little bit of clout. I think Invincible is 2003.
I'm not sure.
I believe.
Honest. They made it to what, 165?
Something like that. Something like that. I think it was more in the 140s. Now, man, you're hitting me with all this stuff.
What are you looking up?
Looking up Invincible's last issue. 144. Nailed it.
What year was that?
2018.
Okay, so it was last year.
Yeah. Came out on Valentine's Day.
I feel like it was longer ago than that.
February 4th. It was like a year and a half ago.
2003. So they were both 2003.
I thought Walking Dead was 04. I'm a dummy.
No, I think they were both 03.
I've been telling everyone that it's been 2004.
All right, let me check. Got to go back to it. I'm on my search page. Clicking.
Real good shit.
So
People are tuning in. People are still listening.
Yeah, also 2003.
October 3rd, 2003. Yep.
So they came out around the same time. About same year.
Just about. One of my grails, Walking Dead #1. Someday.
Yeah.
Someday. Hey, maybe we started to get into it, but maybe the price will come down. Who knows? Who knows? Because now it's possible to have a complete run of The Walking Dead.
That's true.
Up until now, you've just had every issue that came out. But now you can have a complete run.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's someone out there who has a complete run? Like every variant?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Unbelievable to me. But
how much do we think pages for the last issue are going to go for?
Yeah.
Or like the very last page?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I doubt he's even going to sell it.
It's
my
it's
guess
on
is
Kirkman's wall.
Yeah, my guess is like Charlie's either going to hang on to that or Kirkman's gonna snag that one.
It's going to be in a charity auction.
Yep. That's one thing. I've looked into buying Walking Dead pages a lot in the past, but I never just pulled the trigger. But it might be time to get on that because now they're finite.
There's not going to be more of them.
Yeah. Yep. There's a limit now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Walking Dead. Thanks for such a cool book over the last 16 years.
Thanks for all the surprises.
Old enough to drive. Thanks for the surprises.
He always liked giving surprises, and like, there's not many things that you could just turn the page and be like, "Whoa,
what the
anymore?" Because now I feel like I've been jaded a lot,
a little desensitized.
Yeah, and there's not much that will like surprise or shock me. But
Yeah.
they were able to develop characters, develop stories that like at some points would hurt you, and that's not easy to do in this world.
Yep. One of my favorite comics, probably of all time. Not even probably. It's one of my favorite comics of all time. And now I'm sad. But this is kind of our in memoriam, kind of our thank you, I guess, in a way. Walking Dead was cool. We've been talking about it since the very first episode. We've always come back to it. Like, hey, what's going on in Walking Dead this week? But it was good times. It is time to end.
Go invest in some compendiums.
Go invest. Yeah, dude. And Kirkman even says it in his letter. Like their most, not profitable, their highest selling format.
Yeah.
Is those damn, and I can confirm.
It's almost 50 issues.
we had to put them behind the registers because people would steal them.
Really?
Nonstop.
Huh.
There was a time, at least in the store that I worked at, where all Walking Dead had to be kept behind the registers. All of it. The trades, compendiums, the hardcovers, because people would steal it constantly. Like we'd get a compendium in, it's gone.
Huh.
And it's just people would, and this is like the second or third season of the show.
Those things are thicker than phone books.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing what happens when you're distracted and you have a minimal staff.
Huh.
And Yeah. Yep. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. So, yeah, go buy some compendiums. Go to your local comic shop. You know, the owner might be a little cantankerous, so maybe go spend some money.
Hey, buy some trades.
Buy some trades.
If he doesn't have that issue, you know, get a compendium, get some back issues. He'll remember your face for next time.
Yep.
Have him let you know when the second print comes out.
Yeah.
But just don't. They don't deserve any guff right now because it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
Even our local guy was saying he was getting sworn at for not having enough issues in.
That is where I get where that guy was coming from. Like, I get
The owner?
Like, you don't.
Yeah.
But like, to say go fuck yourself, Robert Kirkman, I'm like, okay, well, let's pump the brakes. Anyways, but yeah, that's about it. Saying the same thing over and over again, which means one thing: it's time to end. Happy birthday, America! I've been JR.
I'm Alex,
and this has been episode 381 of Opinions May Vary.